The Stop Motion Cup Series returns here at Kansas Speedway for race 3 of season 2. 40 cars are here ready to take on this 1.5 mile intermediate style track. As we see here down the running order as they're about to start the engines, Ryan Newman's on pole. This will be the first intermediate race of the season. Here are your ones to watch for today's race. Ryan Newman is your pole sitter. Joey Logano has had a slow start to the season. He's low on points, especially after 2 races. Tyler Reddick was our most recent winner at Phoenix, winning the second race of the season, and Daniel Suarez was the fastest in practice for this race, so I expect him to be up front today. Engines are fired up, the cars are starting to roll off. Here's the starting lineup for today's race. On row 1, you have Ryan Newman and Chase Elliott. Row 2, Daniel Suarez and Brad Keselowski. Row 3, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Christopher Bell. Row 4, Eric Jones and Martin Truex Jr. Row 5, Chase Briscoe and Matt DiBenedetto. Row 6, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. Row 7, Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace. Row 8, Kyle Larson and William Byron. Row 9, Anthony Alfredo and Joey Logano. Row 10, Ryan Blaney and Corey LaJoie. Row 11, Chris Buescher and Cole Custer. Row 12, Ryan Preece and Alex Bowman. Row 13, Tyler Reddick and Austin Dillon. Row 14, Michael McDowell and Kaz Gralla. Row 15, Kurt Busch and Austin Cindric. Row 16, Eric Almirola and Ross Chastain. Row 17, Josh Bilicki and Justin Haley. Row 18, Garrett Smithley and Cody Ware. Row 19, Ty Dillon and BJ McLeod. And finally on row 20, Quinn Half and David Reagan, rounding out our 40 car field today. Here are your pre-race notes. There are 12 laps in this race. It's the first intermediate race of the year, and lots of good cars qualified poorly, so we'll have to see if they can get their way back up to the front. Anyways, pace car is turning onto pit road. We're ready to start this race. Green flag is out here at Kansas. We see still side by side going into turn 1. Ryan Newman looks to clear Chase Elliott out of turn 2, but he will not be able to do so, as now Daniel Suarez is going to take him 3 wide down the back stretch. So they go 3 wide down into the corners. Chase Elliott leads lap 1 with Daniel Suarez to his inside. Daniel Suarez tries to make a great charge on Elliott into the corners, but Elliott had the momentum being on the outside line in those corners. Now Suarez looks to take the lead going out of turn 4. He'll manage to do so, although he hasn't been able to clear Chase Elliott quite yet. He'll look to do so coming out of turns 1 and 2. Puts on a big block on Chase Elliott, who has the momentum coming out of the corner. Chase Elliott's going to attempt to do a crossover move on Daniel Suarez, going to turns 3 and 4. Still side by sides, we're now on board with Daniel Suarez, going along the line to complete lap 3. Still side by side, going to turns 1 and 2. We now see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. turning up into 3. Caution! Denny Hamlin around, collects Blaney. Wallace barely squeezes through. Caution is out here at Kansas. Major hits for Hamlin and Blaney. Bubba Wallace and some others barely squeezed through. Here's some replay of the incident. Hamlin just gets up into the front left corner of Logano's car. He gets spun into the wall, into Blaney, who had nowhere to go. Wallace and Bowman barely managed to squeeze through, having to go through the grass in the case of Wallace to avoid that. Hopefully not too much damage to his car, if any. As it looks like Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin will both be out of the race, but both drivers are okay. So we see them in the garage now. Here's a shout out to a channel this week, to the Serre Cup Series. Great stop motions, you should go check his channel out. The link to that channel will be in the description of this video. Looks like the cars are ready to get going once again. Here on lap 6, green flag is out. And we are underway again at Kansas. Daniel Suarez looks to try to take the lead, certainly over Elliott, but Elliott makes a charge on the outside. Elliott takes the lead, clears Suarez. Now Stenhouse takes second place. Now Suarez is dropping back. Keselowski's going to take third place, and Stenhouse is going to try to challenge Elliott for the lead. So he has another spin on the backstretch, going into turns 3 and 4. Quinn Half around. Cody Ware into the wall. Caution is out once again. Quinn Half spins out on the backstretch, going into turns 3 and 4. It looks like Kyle Busch has also blown his engine during this caution period. Tough end to his race. Here's the replay of the incident. Looks like Half got loose up into Cody Ware. Sent Ware into the wall, but it sent Quinn's car around. Unusual spin considering the direction his car was angling going to the corner. Must have tried to overcorrect it into the corner. Didn't work out for him though. We see Kyle Busch's team giving up on trying to fix his engine. He'll be out of the race. Although it looks like Quinn Half and Cody Ware might be able to continue in this race. Definitely Quinn Half will be able to, and it looks like both drivers will in fact be able to get back out onto the track. But not the case for Kyle Busch. Mechanical failure on his part takes him out. So it looks like Chase Elliott chose the outside line for the restart. Green flag is out. Stenhouse is going to try to take the lead again from Elliott. Going through turns 1 and 2, and it looks like Stenhouse has managed to get the lead over Elliott, but he hasn't cleared him quite yet. Keselowski looks to try to make a charge on Elliott for second. Looks like he'll be doing so as soon as Stenhouse can clear Elliott, if he manages to clear Elliott. Although it looks like now Keselowski's going to get 3 wide on Stenhouse. Stenhouse is going to drop back. Keselowski up to second, with Elliott clearing for the lead. So now we start lap 11 here at Kansas. Elliott still manages to maintain the lead over Keselowski, but Keselowski's charging up. Where did Kevin Harvick come from? He's already up to third place. If he clears Bell here, that is, because it looks like he will eventually be able to do so. Elliott still maintains the lead over Keselowski, but Keselowski's going to get to the inside of Elliott here on the final lap of the race. Side by side down the backstretch for one final time. They're going to go into 3 and 4 side by side. Keselowski's loose. Elliott into the wall. Keselowski has damage. They come to the line. Keselowski wins barely over Harvick and Elliott. What a crazy final corners those were. As Keselowski manages to squeeze past Elliott. Wins at Kansas. Harvick almost got the win there at the line. Here's the replay of the final lap. So we see here Keselowski managed to get to the inside of Chase Elliott going into turns 1 and 2. Elliott maintained enough momentum to stay in front of him going down the backstretch, but it wasn't enough to keep them from being side by side into the corners. Keselowski got a little bit over aggressive into the corners. He got up into Elliott. Elliott got into the wall, stalling his momentum, which gave just enough time to Brad Keselowski to win the race over Kevin Harvick. Finishing out your top 5 are Christopher Bell and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So you see further down the finishing order, only 3 DNS in this race: Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Ryan Blaney. And here are your point standings after race 3. Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick are currently tied for the first position in points, with Chase Elliott and Eric Almirola rounding out the top 4 as of this race. So you see drivers like Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin are able to make up some ground in the point standings up in the top 20. Although some drivers like Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch still mired back in the 20s. And Joey Logano is still tied for 32nd in points. It's going to be really hard for him to rebound in enough time to make it into the final 4 at Kentucky later this season. So we round out our point standings there. Congratulations again to Brad Keselowski and his sponsors on winning today's race. Hopefully you all enjoyed this edition of the Stop Motion Cup Series here at Kansas Speedway. The next race will be at the Charlotte Roval. That race followed by the race at Richmond. Once again, hopefully you enjoyed this race. Come back to see the next race in this series. Have a great day.